Hey y'all, I'm Allison Asarch from Nashville, Tennessee.
Hey, I'm Sean Fraser from the Ritzy Kids.
Hunters, this is Johnny from Rail Motor.
Hey, it's Shane from Blind Season.
Hey, it's Rob Stanier, and you can check out my music on all the streaming platforms.
Check out my latest music on all the streaming sites.
Check out my debut album on all streaming platforms.
Check out our new debut album.
Check us out on Spotify and Apple Music. And you're listening to our friends, Braggy and Curly.
My favorite bands from Australia.
My two favourite podcasters,
Braggy and Curly.
Braggy and Curly.
On the
Unfiltered and Undiscovered Podcast.
Hey there, everyone, and welcome to episode 136 of the Unfiltered and Undiscovered Podcast. Today, we're talking all things golden guitars. It was a major event in Tamworth, of course, just recently. So we've got our very special guest, Big Stu, joining us, our country music correspondent. But before we get to Big Stu, I'm going to welcome my two co-hosts. One of the favorite times of the week for me, we've got Braggy in Adelaide, who's doing his whole cowboy routine for those that aren't watching on video. And we've got Rossi in Sydney. How are you, boys?
Good.
There was a bit of that last week with Rossi getting me on the Adelaide situation. Just whack, got me about 3 times, I think.
Yeah.
These little quick jibes at me, but that's okay.
So how's Adelaide treaing you, Braggy?
I was just telling Curly before we're getting power on next week, so should be good.
Yeah, I love it because the last time I went to Adelaide, it was closed.
Yeah, that's it. Well, you could have turned the lights off when you left.
Well, then you still have some left over.
No, look, it's Adelaide's good. The weather's good. Looking forward to footy season about to start, like you guys are there in Queensland and New South Wales, I guess.
Yeah.
Especially looking forward to the local footy. We've got a couple of good young fellas we signed up. I'm looking
Go the Red Legs.
Looking forward to getting my Red Legs members little pack coming. Will be coming in the mail soon.
Yeah.
So,
Our footy starts this weekend. We got the Charity Shield. We've got games tomorrow night. I think the doggies are playing tomorrow night for those people that support the doggies. So.
What I like about the Charity Shield, it means that on Monday it's South Mad Monday. They think they're going to win the
that's funny. He's on fire. He's on fire again.
Oh, he is. And look, I've got to do a performance review, right? So this is, there's a couple of things we have to address, right? So first up, Rossi, you were on fire last week, so quick, and I laughed myself stupid doing the editing, especially when Lizzie comes on and says, "Oh, Paulie's had a baby," and you just go, "That's amazing!" It was just so quick. It was just beautiful. But I think we have to address the elephant in the room, don't we, Rossi?
We do. We really do. And it's not like we want to single anyone out.
No, we don't. But
I'm ready
somehow,
for you.
somehow we've gone from having a co-host who really knows his shit, as from the boys from Sweet Talk,
Yes.
You remember that, Rossi.
I do. He was really right on it. He was so
Braggy really knows his shit.
Only one that got the prediction right.
To someone who got our guest names wrong, not once, but twice, with Jake, who was getting married, and Braggy kept calling him Alec. So
I was confused. If Braggy married,
if Braggy gets any worse, he might be running for president.
I got confused. I thought, I was confused who was getting married.
All right, so the first stage of this addressing the elephant.
I didn't think that the guy that was doing the podcast from his car would be the one getting married.
So for starters, Braggy, first stage of your remedy is that unreservedly you must apologise to Jake for getting his name wrong twice.
I'm sorry, Jake. Apologise for that.
All right.
But now, as we all know, Lizzie's the real star of that band. So
I've worked for a number of acts like that, and often you get in the dressing room and somebody might get a little bit above their station, so to speak. And you just pull them aside quietly and say, "There's one star in this band, and it's not you."
A little bit like lead singer syndrome, maybe. So,
Yes, it is.
Okay. So, Braggy, I've got a bit of a test for you tonight. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I'm going to make it as obvious as I can.
Yep.
And whenever you think you've picked it up, you're to let me know. We've got to see how sharp you are.
Okay.
And get you back to Braggy knows his shit. Okay.
Okay. Yep.
You comfy with that?
Yep.
All right. So
Just checking out, make sure everyone's got their right names. Yep.
All I know is that like I know how this works. It means I'm next. I can only see the top of Curly's t-shirt, but I'm pretty sure that'll be a Mambo t-shirt.
it's a mental as anything t-shirt.
Oh,
Reg, well picked up,
Reg
Rossi.
Reg Mombasa,
Reg.
Right,
surf
let's-
and mull and sex.
Hey!
oh,
Let's do this.
It's a happy Big Stu.
it is.
Time for the Country Roundup with Big Stu.
So we are now,
Perfect.
we've played that 3 times now, Braggy. So is that worth the day that you put into it? So, yeah. And, Braggy, please don't get me wrong. I don't want this to be open season on you either. So it's just really
Oh, mate,
about
I like it.
getting your game where it needs to be. So,
Maybe
so
I
welcome
shouldn't
to...
have a cigarette before the show.
Not one of those jazz cigarettes.
Oh my God, that's washing over me. But anyway, hey, Braggy.
Yes. Tell me.
All right, so big fella, Ross, Stewie.
Hey,
I'm getting
confused.
confused now.
He's
Make
confused.
a note, Braggy, make a
Welcome
note.
to the show, Big Stu.
Thanks,
how
guys.
you been, and how's the new year started for you?
Been great. New Year's been really good. Managed to catch COVID for the second time, so as you do. So out of that now and all good, ready to go.
Good to hear. And
So
what was your general take around golden guitars this year?
yeah, I think at the end of the day, it's well attended. They had 762 entries, so it's a record number of entries they've had, equivalent to 2022.
Wow.
So that's awesome. And there was 24 artists in there had single nominations. So there's a lot of new people there, a lot of older people, reappearees. But in general, a very well attended event, and as it always is, 300,000 people turn up in town. So
it's like we say, it's a big resurgence, isn't there?
it is. Yeah. I think it's a big resurgence in festivals in general.
Yeah.
And when you can mix a festival with some, good music and some headline people that everyone knows, then certainly turns into a good event. And it's a 10-day event, so it goes for a while. Busking, all that sort of stuff. It's all there.
I was thinking about it the other day, and as you know, the Triple J had their Hot 100, and fundamentally, it's really hard to find a band there that isn't like a synth band or a blues band, and there's there seems to be a real shortage of good guitar bands coming through and being played commercially. Yet in the country scene, it's almost like that's the staple.
Yep.
So maybe, I don't know, maybe that's got something to do with the massive resurgence that we're seeing. And it's not traditional country that we're hearing, is it, Braggy? It's very much a fresh country. There's a formula to it. It's catchy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit more poppy, yeah, I guess. Yeah, but there's still different sorts of country that that we're hearing.
I can add.
My boys play a different sort of country, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
but I can say
folky.
for a fact that more guitars have been sold in the last couple of years than ever before in this country.
Truly?
Yep, absolutely.
Wow.
More guitars have been sold. So, like, there's got to be a bit of a lead time on this because it is. Like, there has been massive sales.
Would that have been to do with COVID, you think?
I think so. Yeah, I think COVID had a fair bit to do with that, certainly. And so if you're looking for a bargain, go to Gumtree. All these people going, gee, it's harder than I thought. Oh, well. But still, there's been a lot more guitars sold in this country in the last couple of years, and that's the data actually does back that up.
All right, so all those blues and artists and
I think there's heaps of guitar bands out there. They're just not. It's just not on the popular charts anymore. That's all. It's still there.
Not just yet.
Look for them. Not just yet. No. Just about to.
The thing is that the media those sectors of radio lag behind what's really happening. I think.
Yeah, by about 40 years.
Well,
not quite that bad.
Yeah.
But
so maybe...
I know there's a lot of young folk playing guitars. That's all I know.
Yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it? So maybe some other artists are going to start to run for cover. Who knows? So let's now. Big Stu mentioned a couple of new artists that were in Tamworth this year. So let's have a look at some of those new artists. We know some of them, and it's always pleasing to see people that have been on the podcast go and be highlighted. And here's a couple of our friends on the red carpet.
Oh,
Chloe Styler, come in. Looking styling, Chloe Styler. Come in. How's the festival been?
It's been amazing. I had 3 gigs and I got to catch up with friends. So, yeah, it's been great.
And where are you originally from?
I'm from the Gold Coast.
So that's very different to Tamworth. How did a Gold Coast gal find her way into country music?
My parents just brainwashed me when I was a kid and played so much country music around the house that when I picked up a guitar, it just naturally fell out of me.
And who do you draw inspiration from? Who are your favourite artists?
I love Casey Musgraves. Obviously, old school Taylor Swift really did inspire me when I was about 15 to write songs. I was also inspired by Lee Kernaghan. I think he was one of the first concerts I went to. So, there's a whole wide range as well, lots of other genres.
And now you'll put your own spin to it. I can't wait to hear from you. And one day you'll be nominated for a gold guitar, hey?
Hopefully.
Enjoy the night. Van Johnson. Who have we got here? Laura Frank, come in. I'm yelling at you over there. Come in, you look amazing.
So do you.
So has this been your first Tamworth?
No, it's my 3rd or 4th now. But first red carpet walk.
Are you nervous about your first red carpet walk?
You know what? I'm more nervous about the mingling in the VIP room than actually walking the carpet.
There's nothing to be nervous about. Everyone is friends here in country music. That is the beautiful thing about Australian country music. We're all about welcoming, especially the new faces to country music. So have you had a good Tamworth?
Oh, it's been amazing. We've been on tour with Tom Curtin, who's up for a golden guitar tonight. So we're very excited and here to support him and obviously hope he wins. But everyone nominated is amazing. So
he does. He's won a few and he's got some more nominations tonight. So, yeah, we'll be cheering on Tommy Boy. Have a good night.
You too. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much.
Actually, enjoy. Go get your pictures of that dress before we all get too sweaty. Sammy Palinkas. Oh, wow. Look at this gorgeous cowgirl. Woo! Oh, and you've even got cheers. You've got some fans here. Come up here. Come in. How's your festival been?
It's been great, actually. It came up yesterday. It's my first Tamworth, so it's really, really exciting to be here. It's just been such an amazing experience. So,
your first Tamworth, was it what you expected?
And more. I think it's just so nice. It's got such a great community vibe, and it's just great to see everybody doing their thing and so proudly. And it's just, it's a beautiful thing. I really love it. So I can't wait to next.
Have you caught many shows around the place?
Yeah, I caught the Wolf Brothers last night, and quite a few yesterday. Jake Davey did a show, and popped into the Buckleys. So yeah, it's been like a whirlwind, but it's been terrific.
You look very fresh for going to that amount of shows.
It's been busy. It's been really busy, but I've loved every minute of it. So, yeah.
Well, I'm so glad that you've enjoyed your first festival. That's what we want to hear. We want to bring new artists into Tamworth. So I hope you come back next year.
I'll absolutely be back, Sam. Absolutely.
Well, we'll see you then. Enjoy the night. See you later.
All right.
How good is that?
Very good.
And I would like to think, not one mention. That was the disappointing thing.
Yeah.
But I would like to think they're all very professional, and part of that professionalism of course, the how they've gained their experience from being on shows like ours. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were pretty glam, weren't they? They were pretty classy.
Yeah,
absolutely. And you've got to like Laura Frank. She had 2 People's Choice Awards. One was for song, and one was for Best Female Artist. People's Choice. She didn't win either, but still fantastic to see that you're being nominated. So that's
just the nomination is great.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
That's all you can ask for.
Definitely.
Absolutely. So, Stewie, let's go through. So we chose 6 of the main categories, didn't we, for you to give us a bit of a education on, and I've got a feeling that this might be really good.
Gee, thanks. No pressure. All good. So, okay, well, let's start, I suppose, with the top one. So I did it in the order that you flicked through. So we'll start with the Toyota album, the album of the year. So the nominees in there were Travis Collins, Felicity Urquhart, and Josh Cunningham, the Wolf Brothers, James Johnson, and Brooke McClymont and Adam Eckersley. And the winner of this was the Wolf Brothers with "Living the Dream." So very, very popular song. It's got a lot of airplay. It's very catchy tune. Actually, it's very, very good.
Where are they from, Stewie?
They're a couple of country boys from Tassie. They grew up on a berry farm.
Okay.
And their dad and their uncle were in a band. They had a band called the Wolf Brothers Family Orchestra. So they played orchestral music, and so the boys have been around it all the time. One of those guys that went on to Australia's Got Talent in 2012, runners up. So that sort of kicked them along, and from then on, they've just gone from height to strength to strength. Do a lot of touring around with Lee Kernaghan. They do a lot of backup stuff with Lee Kernaghan, and have done for many years. So, so very, very good.
There.
If you got a gassed up tank and a Mountain Dew, a pretty little thing sitting next to you, rolling round to some John Deere green, you're living the dream. If you got a 10-point buck up in your sights and your truck is jacked up with some big old lights, where the picture's pretty much complete, you're living the dream. If you got a country song, driving down a country road, taking in a countryside, sitting on some country gold. No, it ain't too hard, it's the simple things. Cold beer to drink, clean air to breathe. No, it don't take much to have everything. Yeah, the way I see, well, ain't we living the dream?
Yeah, definitely.
They seem to have exploded this year, big fella.
Yeah, they have. I mean, if you look at some of that, in 2023, they were nominated for, they only had 2 nominations and didn't do any good. In 22, they had 8 nominations and only won 2. And then obviously this year now they've had 3 nominations and won 2 of those. So they're certainly starting to get a bit more notice.
And they did a collaboration with James Johnson, was it? That as well, the Wolf Brothers?
No. Okay. No, he's collaborated with a few guys, but not that I'm aware of that's been with the Wolf Brothers. They're pretty much they were a band with some mates initially, and now they've pretty much gone into now a duo. There's just the 2 brothers now.
I am thinking of another duo, so don't worry about me. I've got a drinking problem, so
obviously it's not good enough. You drink to remember. No, you drink to forget. So that's where you're going. So very, very good. So those boys did a good job, man. "Living the Dream" was the name of the album, and there's a lot of good songs come off that too. So very, very good. Move on to the second one now. So we're looking at Male Artist of the Year. In that we had Andrew Swift, Brad Cox, Casey Barnes, James Johnson, and Travis Collins. and the winner of that was Brad Cox. So a little bit about Brad Cox. He hasn't been around for a long time. Obviously, one of those people that has been working hard and flying his trait. As a kid, he's known for saying that he in his car he had 4 cassettes in his car. That was Joe Cocker, Shania Twain, The Commitments, and some other one. So they were the 3 he listened to, and he always had something else. So that was his influence. He started taking piano lessons at primary school, like everyone does, and then obviously went to playing drums at high school. And then at the age of 14, started doing gigs in pubs. And then, from the age of 15, then really started writing and getting into country music. So he's rolled out 3 albums so far. So in 18, he won the Star Maker, Toyota Star Maker, the Country Music Awards. So that was his intro into the industry. In May 18, he released a self-titled album, which got off pretty well. And a couple of songs on there was like Too Drunk to Drive. So that's sort of bit of a theme to what's going on. Yeah, exactly right. Keeps going back to it, doesn't it? So there's something in it.
I'm thinking Joe Cocker and the guy from The Commitments. He must have a big voice.
Yeah, he has. He's a big guy too. Big, solid unit. Got a really good voice. Really good voice.
Is he an older guy?
No, he's not. He's just turned 28 or 28 this year. So he's not. No.
Okay.
No, so wouldn't say old at all. Obviously, started early and finally got his foot in the door.
Yeah.
2019, he got signed by Sony Music. And then November 20, he released an album called My Mind's Projects. And believe it or not, a song on there was Drinking Season. There's something about these country guys. They like their beer and they like their whiskey. So it's all good. That's why I'm into it.
You get what you give, don't you?
You do. Exactly right. And we spoke before about, Adam Eckersley we mentioned, so that he did a collaboration with him as well back in 2020. And then in 2022, his last album was called Acres, his 3rd studio album. And so it's rolled out. And so this year he's won Male Artist of the Year. So So good for young fella. And if you look back at what he's done, 2019 he had 2 nominations with no wins. 2020 with 2 nominations with no wins. 21, 3 nominations, no wins. He wondered whether where his motivation came from, but he dug deep. Didn't register at all in 22-23, and then this year 3 nominations, 3 wins.
Wow.
So so he's out there. So
you've got to think that a young bloke like that, at 28 years old, is a chance of crossing over, like your Lee Kernagans, like to go and just from straight country to, especially if he's got that diverse set of interests, right?
Yeah,
it'd be a show of like picking up a much wider audience than just a country one, because Australians will pick that up too. And like there's a number of that. There's a long list of country acts that have been really well established and busted straight through to the mainstream charts as well. Like he's a chance, I reckon.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, very much. He's very much in the ilk of Luke Combs. Luke Combs looks very much similar. That build, quite a good voice. Yeah. So he's a long way to go. He'll do well.
And from my perspective, it was a really big shout out to the Golden Guitars, because I was over at Stewie's place having a beer that Saturday night that the Golden Guitars were on, and it was all live streamed on YouTube. So we saw all the red carpet, we saw all the awards while we were having a beer and having dinner with the family. So that's a massive shout out, and it's only on. And I think we did some research there on the night, Stewie. It goes on TV on like SBS or ABC or something in about March or April.
Yeah.
Yet here we are watching it live on YouTube. So massive. And
that's great. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the longevity of it, this year's the 52nd year it's been on. So, everyone knows it. So
it's a big deal. It is a big deal. Like the arias are. Sorry,
pain.
Pain. Yeah. I was just falling asleep just thinking about it. But I'm more like. Don't mean to be mean spirited, but a lot of the acts that get picked up in the areas aren't working acts. You know that these country acts are working performers, right?
Yeah.
They're doing shows. They're like, I know the work ethic of a lot of these guys, and that's the difference. You know, this is stuff that it's made of. You know, it's the only way they get better. It's doing shows, man.
Yep,
absolutely,
absolutely. So, Stewie, let's do the next category, and then we'll stop for Braggy's trivia.
Okay, so next category, looking at Female Artist of the Year. So the nominations were Ashley Dallas, Fanny Lumsden, Kaylee Bell, Max Jackson, and Melanie Dyer. And the winner was Curly, one of my people that I suggested earlier on, I think, which was Kaylee Bell. So she scored the gong. Now she's another one who did a bit of time on. She went on The Voice actually, and did a song called Keith. And no surprise, it was about Keith Urban, and turned all 4 judges, and Keith Urban took her. So there's no surprise there. But she's gone ahead and pretty much in leaps and bounds. She 2013 she won the Star Maker Award, and she was the first New Zealand person or artist since Keith Urban in 1990 to win that award. So
wow.
So a Kiwi girl. She's currently, this will surprise you, she's currently the most streamed female country artist in Australia.
Yeah.
Wow.
So she's up there. And she, in late 22, she actually was the opening act for the Brad Paisley show when Brad Paisley was out here from the States. And in 23 last year, she was the support act for Ed Sheeran for his Mathematics World Tour. So she's got picked up, and she's done a couple of really big shows. So
who were the other nominations again?
Ashley Dallas, Fanny Lumsden, Max Jackson, and Melanie Dyer.
Mel's a mate of ours, actually.
Yeah.
Mel's a lovely girl and a very hard-working performer. And I know that she went on The Voice, and she didn't make it. Because I don't know, like they often give people songs. Well, they always give people songs, right? And they gave her a song, and was probably not the best thing for her.
Yeah.
And she didn't, and they didn't turn. And then they said, but. They talked to her and said, "Oh, but do you write your own stuff?" She said, "Yeah." And then they gave her a shot at performing her own piece.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Is The Voice the one they spin around on the chair with? Or?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I call that one spin around the chair.
I've been on that set. It's a very funny show.
Yeah.
It's a TV show about people who sing. That's what it is. It's not a singing show. It's a TV show about people.
It's all the storylines, isn't it? So
backstories.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Whoever's got the best fading colours is always part of those storylines,
Yeah.
So
It is. It is.
Very much so.
It's very amusing. I'll tell you some stories. I'll tell you some offline stories about that one of these days.
Oh no, that's got to be part of Rossi's stage story.
Oh, could be.
All right, so Braggy, it's time for your trivia. So Stewie, the way this works is hopefully you got a pen or a piece of paper. I really should probably tell guests to make sure that they've got that from now on, shouldn't I? But anyway, Braggy's going to ask us 6 questions.
I'd like to know how the guests go.
Yeah.
Okay.
And for those people listening at home, let's see if you can beat Rossi.
Won't be hard.
In what country was Keith Urban born?
That's.
I think I gave it away, didn't I?
There's a trick here, isn't there?
I know. I'm waiting for the trick on me.
You haven't picked it up yet. Okay.
Nah.
Oh.
Can't get it.
Okay.
Hopeless. Who is Eileen Regina Edwards? Stewie looks so confident.
Yep.
Eileen Regina.
Yeah. Ready?
No idea.
How old is Willie Nelson?
Approximate?
No.
No.
Yeah,
How old?
nothing.
Exactly. You don't need to do the days, but the years have to be correct, not approximate. You can't just say, he's pretty fucking old.
Well, I'm thinking
Very.
carbon.
How old is Willie Nelson? Very.
He's got a lot of rings. Yeah.
Yeah, carbon dated or something. I
Yep,
don't
that's the one.
Okay.
102, right?
That's the three easy ones. You ready for the hard ones now?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. This whole section is 5 different questions. What has more strings? A pedal steel or a sitar? You got to pick one.
Yep.
This is where Rossi comes good.
Maybe.
Yeah. Maybe.
A banjo or a mandolin?
You know the difference between a banjo and a trampoline, don't you?
What is that?
Normally you take your shoes off and you jump on a trampoline.
Okay. How about this one? A Renaissance lute or a Baroque lute?
Oh!
Oh, you'll be waiting for Ascension Day one of these days, Braggy.
Okay. A balalaika or a violin? So this is, you got to write down the ones that have got the more strings. And the last one is a harp or a harpsichord.
Oh, okay. I might get that one. Okay.
You ready to move on?
Yeah.
Yep.
In the Country Music Tamworth Awards over the years, I want to know the 5 people who have won the most golden guitars. The top 5 since its inception. Give you time to write that one down. I texted my people here if I could get a top up of the wine, and I've got no response.
Just poor service, Braggy.
Terrible service.
You'll be doing mad.
It was proper showbiz, so she'd be sitting just off camera looking to make sure that you weren't running out of wine. That's what I think.
Yeah, you'll have the Mad Dog Blues soon, mate. So.
Standing, yeah. Okay. Is that a clue, Curly? Is that a hint?
It's I'm playing the game, and you haven't picked up on it yet. So that's all I'll say.
Okay, I've got one clue there. Then you ready? You got them ones? You got that? You got those 5? Okay. Next one is: can you name the 4 members of the Highwaymen? Remember them guys?
Yeah.
I was a highwayman on the coast road. I did ride.
With my girlfriend by my side.
That's the ones. Okay. Tell me when you're ready. We've got one more question.
Bugger.
We've got okay, I got 3 of them. I hope
I got it.
Okay. And the last question is, who sang these songs? You ready?
Yeah.
The Devil Went Down to Georgia.
I was thinking about that song at work today. Someone had a golden guitar in their hand, and I said, that looks like the sort of guitar you'd win if you beat the devil.
Devil Woman.
Yep.
Running with the Devil.
Oh, that could be about.
I got Stewie on that one.
3,000 metal bands have probably sung a song called
There's one very famous band sang that song. Sympathy for the Devil.
Oh, that's.
Do you know that there was a country version of that famous metal song released on an album called Strummin' with the Devil?
Oh, really?
Using the same lead singer. using the same lead singer.
Wow, didn't know that.
There you go. And the last one is Devil Inside.
Yeah.
In a strange world, I knew all the Devil songs.
Yeah,
I
Rossi.
knew you would.
How's your back, by the way? I haven't asked.
Look better.
Okay, good to hear. Good to
Completely off the medication, which is great. Makes me much happier.
Are you back at Pilates?
Yeah, back at Pilates, back at work. There was four physio sessions, 3 Pilates, couple of doctor visits, but the back's all right now.
Excellent.
For now. Yeah.
Okay.
Old men.
Are you ready for answers?
Well, you know what they'll say.
What country was Keith Urban born? He was born in New Zealand.
New Zealand.
I think he moved here when he was about 2 months old or something like that.
Okay.
Eileen Regina Edwards is Stewie.
Shania Twain.
Correct.
Yay.
How old is Willie Nelson, Stewie?
83.
No, older.
I had 82.
Ooh. He's 91.
He's 90. He's born in 33.
Yep. Bugger.
Okay. Okay. A pedal steel can have 10 or 12 strings. A sitar can have anything from 18 to 21. So sitar's the first one.
Yeah.
Right. Yep.
A banjo can have 4 strings or 5 strings. A mandolin's got 8 strings.
Yep.
All right. Cool.
A Renaissance lute has got 15 strings, and a Baroque lute, because Baroque is more of everything in the art world, it's got 25.
Yep.
I didn't get that. I didn't
On
get
fire.
that.
On fire.
A balalaika's only got 3 strings. It's the big curly. If you don't know, it's a big triangle-shaped thing the Russians played.
Yeah.
And a violin's got 4.
All right. I've done well in this one.
A harp, the big harp in the orchestra, has 47 strings, but a harpsichord, because it's like a piano, it's got 112.
Oh.
Right. I got a clean sweep of all that.
Whoa, well done.
Hey.
Curly's
Doesn't he get 5 points for every question he gets right?
Okay. Top 5 golden guitar winners. I'm going to go from the fifth. I'm going to go from the lowest up to the highest.
Yep.
Sarah Storer has won 21.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
John Williamson, 27.
Yeah.
Troy Casadale, 37. Lee Kernigan, 38. Equal with Slim Dusty on 38.
Yep.
Got 3.
Got 3.
Well done.
Oh,
I
4.
want to say that my mate
4.
Chad Morgan,
Yep.
my mate Chad Morgan's been hard done by.
That's the other one I had.
Man, I've done gigs with him, right?
I know
and
heaps of people have.
he's incredible that he takes you along this whole trip, and then when you get to the end, he's almost got you crying. He's brilliant.
Yeah.
He's so clever, but he likes the ladies. That's all I'll say.
Oh, okay.
Well, he's a bit of a looker.
Looks better with his regular teeth in.
The highwayman was Johnny Cash, Waylon Jennings, Willie Nelson, and Chris Christopherson.
Yep.
2.
Beautiful.
Devil Went Down in Georgia was Charlie Daniels' band. Devil, she's just a devil woman.
Cliff Richard.
Cliff Richard. Yep.
Running with the Devil is Van Halen.
Van Halen.
Yep.
Running with
And,
the
and Dave
Devil.
Lee Roth did Strumming with the Devil. It's a whole bluegrass version of
course
Van
he did.
Halen covers.
Of course he did.
Yeah.
Sympathy for the Devil is the Rolling Stones.
No.
And Devil Inside is our own In Excess.
In excess.
All right.
Okay.
I
I reckon you boys did well there. It sounded like you did well.
Yeah, didn't do too bad.
1, 2.
I think I got 15, Braggy.
1, 2, 3,
1,
After
2.
missing the first 3.
1, 2.
7,
6,
8, 9, 10,
10,
11,
14.
12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18.
I got 17.
Oh,
yo!
That is the closest any guest has got to Rossi.
Oh, no. Lizzie and the Beanstalks beat me.
Yeah, but there was 3 of them.
3 on 1. Stu's good. Stu's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Waiting for Ascension Day, hey? That's going to happen one of these days, I would imagine. So someone takes the throne.
Yeah.
Matter of time.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's go. Let's go like we're driving the Bruce, Browsy.
Okay, no worries at all. So next we'll look at the new talent of the year.
Yeah.
So we had Lane Pittman, Lauren Ryan, Max Jackson, Sarah Berkey, and Zach and George.
And I must say, this was a bit of giveaway because one of them played in the early part of the show. So you sort of thought that maybe they were prepping everyone, but sorry, Browsy, it was.
So the winner was Max Jackson.
Max Jackson. That's a great name.
So I love a young lady. Yeah, done well for herself. She obviously won New Talent of the Year. She comes from a little place called Coonamble, which is outside of Dubbo. Obviously, her words are saying she was raised on country music from very young right through. That's all she does. That's all she's listening to. That's all she knows.
Yeah.
She did a pretty good job. She released an album in 2020 with 13 of her own songs, but unfortunately, like everyone, the COVID hit, and it just went nowhere. So a bit of bad luck taking, struggle with all that sort of stuff. She's taken herself over to, or she's done a bit of work with no, I'm learning that. So she won the Star Maker Award in 22. So came back out of COVID when it came back on board. So did a really good job there. With people like the other people that won that, Urban, Lee Kernigan, James Blundell, Gina Jeffries, Becky Cole, Sam Clymont, who was doing the interviewing doing that interview before on the red carpet.
Oh, okay.
Whatever happened to any of them?
Yeah, exactly. They didn't go anywhere, did they? So it's a foot in the door, and it's a chance to start moving somewhere. So she also, like a lot of the people did, included a trip to Nashville. She went to spend a bit of time in Nashville to get on board with all that sort of stuff. She also did a guest spot with the Wolf Brothers too on their national Living the Dream tour. So that was the album they won Album of the Year with. So she did a bit of work with those guys. And at the moment now she's doing a bit of in the studio doing a bit of work. So very nice young lady.
She's been everywhere. Has she ever been up? Has she ever been up in Queensland, Curly?
I don't know if she's ever been up. She could be a mangrove woman, mate. She does come from small town New South Wales.
Yeah,
so
Coonamble, outside Dubbo. Yeah.
I could walk right past a stranger, never say hello. I could drive straight past a breakdown on the side of the road. I could watch an old man struggling without helping him at all. But I'm a little more country. I could up and leave the table when the talk is getting tough. I could throw in the towel and just walk out when the work gets too dead hard. I could disappear in a thin air when it's my turn to buy around. But I'm a little more country. A little more human, a little more kind, a little more slow down, a little more time, a little more honest and true. A little more country, a little more back road, a little more sky, a little more fire, a little more life, a little more dirt on my boots, a little more country.
So
all I can say, Braggy, is thanks to the women for dancing. That's just.
Yes.
Have you worked it out yet?
No, I haven't worked it out. I got no idea.
Nothing.
Not a fucking clue.
But yeah, so we'll move on to that. Next one was song of the year.
Yeah.
So Boys Like Me from Casey Barnes, Country Music, Ewan Beer, Brooke McClymont and Adam Eckersley. Here's to the Ones, the Wolf Brothers.
Yep.
Raising Me, Travis Collins, and Size Up by Felicity Urquhart and Josh Cunningham.
Yep.
And the winner was Felicity Urquhart and Josh Cunningham with Size Up. So I think, Felicity Urquhart, has been around a long, long time. Done a lot of stuff. One an absolute mozza of going right back to 2001. She was doing stuff so she's been around a fair while.
She had the radio show early in the morning, didn't she, or late at night?
I'm not sure. Possibly.
And are they a married couple, Stu?
No, they're not. No.
Okay.
No, they're not. And I think for her, I mean, 20. She's been chipping away, and 1 nomination, 1 win, 2 nominations, 2 wins. So she's doing really well. Got into 2020, 5 nominations for 5 wins, and then into 24, she had 3 nominations this year for 3 wins. So done really, really well. So she's been around a while, and obviously deserves a few accolades for being in the business so long and doing so well. And the album Size Up apparently was it's all about Cunningham growing up with a very poor background. His parents didn't have much, is through poverty. So it's all about doing the right thing and having the right mindset and celebrating your wins and that sort of stuff the song's about. So so it's good. So and Felicity Urquhart said the same thing. She come from a family where the family tried to do things and make things to save money, and that's whole and solely what the song's all about. So nice song, actually, very good song.
Everything gets another go round when the wolves are at the door. Threadbare shirt, we were poor as dirt. There was a lot of growing up into. So I put a lot of holes in a lot of belts, walked a lot of miles in a lot of old shoes. When you're wearing a size up, it's gonna make you wise up. You gotta keep your eyes up. Give yourself a little room to grow into. You better just size up. If you're ever gonna rise up, or you're gonna get mixed up, messed up, hard up, scarred up, broken and blue.
So yeah,
that's awesome.
And then to the last award we're going to look at, which was Country Music's Capital News Group or Duo of the Year. So going back to the guys that won overall before, so the winner of that was the Wolf Brothers. But the nominees were Brooke McClymont and Adam Eckersley, Felicity Urquhart, Josh Cunningham, The Pleasures, the Wolf Brothers, and Zach and George. So they took it out. The Wolf Brothers took it out with as the duo. So they did really well. The boys there, they had 6 nominations for a few wins. They've done really, really well.
Okay. Would you think, aside from Felicity, who's been around for quite a long time, it's almost like a bit of a changing of the guard again, or renewal?
Yeah,
very much so. Yeah. There is, yep.
And that's a reflection of what's been going on everywhere else. A lot of people sitting there stuck in their houses writing songs for a few years, I reckon.
Yeah.
I'm seeing that everywhere, and I think it's cool. I think it's really, really cool that there's a whole lot of people writing songs, getting them out there, and finding a whole new audience. I think that's really exciting to hear.
Yeah. A lot of duos and stuff you're hearing now too is, as you say, it's someone who's been around for a while who's now trying to support someone new.
Yeah,
and it seems to go really well. It's very, very good. So
look, you kind of love that. I love that sort of cross-generational hand up. Instead of like in the old days, I used to try and belt you down.
There's a lot to like about the country scene at the moment, and I'm with you, Rossi, and we've had some amazing conversations with some new artists that are coming on, and they're fresh, they're vibrant, they're enthusiastic. And they've all got this gleam in their eyes, haven't they? So I think it's just going to continue.
Yeah,
bit of fire in the belly too.
A lot coming through. Yeah, a lot of young people coming through that'll do well. So
just got to find bars for them to play at.
Exactly right. Pubs and
when they have like at the festival at the awards, do they have like a headline act, or is that just at the big concert they have?
No, they just have nominees that are through there will play songs, every period of time, and just So, it's a recognition to home talent.
I know, but I mean, like Keith Urban's in America. I think he'd come back and give it a bit of support or something. Someone headline it. I know it. He probably plays the massive other.
It's
one. Do you think he might have a bit of pull with some of those other people?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
get them over here.
Give a bit back.
One person we didn't.
Yeah. Sorry, we don't want the cultural cringe. You actually want to lift up those who are here working.
Yeah.
Well, that's true. I know that.
But that seems to be naturally what they do in Tamworth. Is like when you hear people like Lee or like Casey or any of those people who have come through, that's what you heard about them when they've won the Golden Guitar.
That's true.
And that's when they've entered the public consciousness. We don't need the big stars to come back from overseas and swamp it. Otherwise, we'll just be getting more articles about Taylor Swift.
I realise that, but I mean that would bring more people to see
more eyes
to
Tamworth.
Yeah.
It's pretty hard, but it's pretty hard to get into Tamworth at the moment anyway, isn't it? No one can afford to go there. It's from what I hear from the bands, isn't it? It's so expensive, you know. It's lovely to see the country towns getting revitalised. But you're right. There could be satellites, right? They could base a whole touring scene around it.
Yeah.
You do a whole circuit that ends up at Tamworth in January, you know. You're right.
So cool.
Yeah, like it would be good to see. Like Keith is a big star in Nashville, right? No mistake about it. And so if he said to his mates, "Come on, jump on a private jet, we're going back over for a week," they'd have the time of their lives if they're real genuine country performers too, I reckon.
Yeah,
exactly. They would. Yeah.
You need to get to Tamworth. And one of the people that we didn't mention that was involved in this year's Golden Guitars was once again a friend of the podcast, Brendan Radford from the Faceless Men.
Yes.
And he once again was the music director on the big night. And there were many times during the night that you saw Brendan playing his guitar in the pit, so to speak.
Yep.
And once again, just really... it's really cool to see. So
he's been doing it for eight years now, and he's got his own studio up here called Rad Music out of Brisbane. So he produces a lot of stuff. He writes a lot of stuff for himself and produces a lot of other people up here. Was with Kernaghan for 10 years in his touring band, and does a lot at the moment with John Williamson too. So
those bands are real pros nowadays, like freakishly good pros. You know, I think people underestimate the standard of what we're doing here. Yeah, I think that's right. You know.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now the interesting thing, Stewie, and I'll get your thoughts on this, is that James Johnson, who really has been almost like the flavour of the month for 2 years, missed out.
Yep.
Yeah, you mentioned him ages ago, Stewie. You were talking him up.
Thought he's a good kid. I mean, in 23 he had 6 nominations for 2 wins. This year he had 6 nominations for no wins.
Right.
I did have a chat to a couple of people that I do know, and I think the general consensus at the moment is that he's probably aiming very much towards the US market, and that's where his focus has been. So not necessarily on the nose, but certainly there's other people that are doing well. And apparently he's a very, very hard worker. They say he works his bum off, but at the moment it just seems like his music tends to be towards that Nashville American type music, and it's the people in Tamworth at the moment want the local stuff.
Yeah,
more that sort of stuff. So
you've got to go there to break it, haven't you? You can't do it any other way. They won't cop it. If you can't fly in, fly out. You got to go there and stay there and break them. It's worth it if they do, though. Gee, it's worth it.
Very much so. Very much so.
Yeah.
Well, Big Stu, country music correspondent. Thank you for
awesome, Stewie.
For sharing Golden Guitars and
perfect.
Always welcome on the show whenever you've got a new hot tip. So
cool.
Now, before we close off, there's a couple of things we've got to do. Braggy,
tell me what I
test?
No.
You haven't picked. Well, you picked up on some things. What do you think I was doing?
I don't know. You were saying some of my old songs. I know that.
Yeah.
Well, that's all I know. What else did you do?
There were 12 song titles interspersed in conversation as we went through the whole show.
Yeah.
And all of those song titles were from the playlist. So so you picked up on a couple of them.
Girls Dance. That's another one, isn't
thanks
it?
to the women for dancing. So we had Open Season from Mick Madoo. Run for Cover from Jeff Allen. Washing Over for Me was Spillage. Fading Colours was
that's good, Curly. You have to do that every week, Curly.
Tailor-Made Rejects. I've Got a Feeling by Screaming Tribesmen. Drinking Problem by Midland.
By Midlands, yeah.
You Get What You Give by the New Radicals. You Know What They'll Say by the Spliffs. Mad Dog Blues. Who was that by?
That's Robbie Stanley. Hey, I've got to give a shout out on the show today.
I haven't finished yet. Driving the Blues. Who was that?
Driving the Bruce.
Driving the Bruce by
dickheads.
Rail Motor. Ascension Day, which I mentioned twice, by Grand Union. And Thanks to the Women for Dancing by
did not pick
Dave
it up.
Brainey.
Hey, that's really good, Curly. You should do a little thing like that every week.
You're still in the back group, okay? Rossi, is he still
remedial?
He's
pretty good tonight. He was.
He's a naughty corner.
Good.
All right, do your shout out, Braggy.
This weekend is the Agnes Water Blues and Roots Festival, and I just want to shout out to the Agnes Water, people for putting that on again. It should be good. I think Vicar and Linda, the headline act there. It's only a small festival. My good friend Johnny Railmotor, aka Waxy, is playing tomorrow night at Cody's, which is my favorite little bar, restaurant, cafe, coffee shop in Agnes Water. He's playing there tomorrow night. So just wanted to shout out to Wax and the Agnes Water crew if they listen to us.
Excellent.
I'm sure they do.
Listen.
Yeah, they should. Absolutely.
They better.
So the only other thing we now need to do, Rossi, is to hear a backstage story.
I want to hear about the country music.
Okay. Well,
I want to hear about the voice. I want to hear about the voice.
No. That's another time. I need to get that cleared with a couple of people first. Yeah. Now you mentioned a few people, and I'll follow them for later. But it was interesting you mentioned Slim, right? Slim, because I had a whole bunch of mates who were on Slim's crew, and they did the big anniversary tour near the end of Slim's career. But it was like, it would have been 80s, I guess, 80, and the tour went forever, right? And all his road crew were really good rock and roll mates of mine,
right?
And we would bump into each other when they'd get hit a city, and we all get in the terps and misbehave and what have you. But so we gave them a whole bunch of Tribesman t-shirts, and they gave us a whole bunch of Slim Dusty t-shirts. So we'd be wearing our Slim anniversary tour t-shirts, and Slim's crew be dressed as Tribesman crew. But what we know is that the tour went for a really long time, and I'm saying 18 months maybe could have been. And
wow.
And unbeknownst to the guys who worked on the crew, and some of the guys did every show all the way through. The set itself was a pub with no beer, by the way. It was a full pub. It had, but it was a full bar. The set was a full bar, but it did actually have no beer, which was pretty funny. But at the end of the tour, Slim came to the boys, and for every week you'd been on the tour, he'd put a little bit of extra money aside for them and gave them all. Based on how long they stayed on the tour, quite a sizable chunk of thank you money.
What a legend.
That's the kind of bloke he was.
What a fucking legend. Yeah.
And they didn't know that was going on. And in those days, that was a lot of money to those blokes, and it made a big difference to them when they came off the tour. And they all, to a man, loved him. They loved his family. They loved the band. They loved the whole organization. So there you go.
Yeah,
that's a great
story. It's a clean story. It's a clean story for you this week.
Beautiful, though. It's beautiful.
It's a great story.
That's country music. See, it's all clean.
It is. That's right, mate. Should have heard the one I didn't want to tell. Should have heard the one I didn't want to tell you.
Hold that thought. So, thanks, big fella, for joining us.
No, my pleasure.
Great episode. If you have enjoyed the episode, everyone, please like and subscribe, leave a review. We're on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok. Check out our website, unfiltered, undiscovered.com. the songs that you will see in the podcast tonight, we will put into our playlist on Spotify. Just look up.
How many songs in the playlist?
It's well over 300 at the moment. So, and I'm putting more and more Lizzie Jack songs in there because we've got to make them blow up in 2024. Otherwise, I'm the only one that's not getting the big tip. So, absolutely, it may be corrupt, but who cares? I'm in charge. So, lyrics from the playlist, and because Braggy's been such a good sport, the lyrics are coming from the blow up sweethearts with their song "Everybody Just Relax," and this is a classic piece of Australian literature, and it simply says, "She didn't match the curtains, so I got her waxed. So everyone just relax." Thanks for tuning in. We will see you all again.
I don't think anyone would ever pick up on those lyrics.
See you
Very
all.
good. See you guys.
Thanks.
See ya.